Welcome to Impact by DIFA Dallas, the official podcast of the Dallas chapter of the Design Industries Foundation Fighting AIDS. We'll share valuable info about the fight against HIV and AIDS, what our organization is doing to assist those in our community, and most importantly, how you can help us make a real impact.
Hi, welcome to our next episode of Impact. My name is Tim Garippa. I'm happy to be joined today by two members of one of our big beneficiaries, the Resource Center. So I'd like to welcome Bill Scott and Trevor Frank. Thank you guys for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. So let's talk a little bit around kind of what your role is at the Resource Center and maybe a little bit about the Resource Center. So Bill, why don't we start with you?
Okay, I'm Bill Scott. I am the Senior Manager in Development of Events and Operations. My main function is to oversee and facilitate the fundraising events of Resource Center. And then there's the boring database on the side of it as well. That's all the numbers and our donors. We are currently in a different time when it comes to fundraising events. And so this is a big learning experience for all of us. It's a new frontier.
Yeah. So I'm Trevor. I'm our Development Associate at Resource Center. Primarily, my time is split between helping Bill with our fundraising events, helping plan, coordinate, and whatever support he needs for that. And I also help our marketing manager, Jennifer Collins, with everything from social media to whatever she needs help with. So my time is kind of split evenly between those two. It's a really awesome job. I love what I do. In terms of Resource Center, for anyone who doesn't know, Resource Center is a nonprofit organization that serves the LGBTQ and HIV communities of North Texas. We offer a variety of programs and services, anything ranging from free HIV testing, low-cost STI testing and treatment, to a youth program, to a food pantry and hot meals program for people living with HIV. That's just the tip of the iceberg. We serve over 60,000 people every year, and we have over 70 employees. So we're a pretty big nonprofit, and it's a really great organization.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think anytime someone has a question around support for the community, I always point them to the Resource Center. It always seems like there's something that the Resource Center does that can help with almost anything. And if not, there's available, alliances that the Resource Center can point to people to. So I think that's fantastic for our community. One of the things that is so different about today is the Resource Center always puts on amazing events. There's fundraisers, there's different things. And in today's world of COVID, everyth's changing, right? Mm-hmm. More stuff is going virtual. And that's what I want us to kind of talk about as part of our conversation is, what does that mean, right? How are nonprofits staying alive? How is the Resource Center continuing to engage and execute on their mission in this time where it's harder to be face-to-face? So why don't we start and talk a little bit about that and talk about how the Resource Center has evolved in this time.
Sure. So, we're not alone in adapting to this new COVID world. Everything is different. As you stated, Resource Center is known for our fundraising events. That's how we make a lot of our revenue, but it's also how we get word out to the community. So we definitely had to adapt. We're not alone in this. We also look to other organizations to see what they're doing, but I think other people also look to us. So we're continuing to learn. We're continuing to adapt. Going virtual is something that's new to us, but we've adapted pretty well. I'll let Bill speak to specifically how we've adapted, but I think we're doing well, and we've still got a ways to learn. But we're here to stay and continue to do our events however we can.
Yeah. So Bill, talk to us about how things are changing.
Well, we have two types of events that we put on throughout the year. One is the actual fundraising event, where it's like a party kind of scenario, and then we have our what we call educational events. Mm-hmm. We've quickly adapted our monthly Get Centered mission tours to a virtual format. And whereas in person, we meet at the Resource Center, and you kind of walk through the building, hence the word tour, but you're not really touring the building, you're touring our mission. Mm-hmm. And at each stop, you hear from a staff member or a volunteer or a client, what aspects of our mission applies to them and how you can help. And we don't. It's not a fundraising event. It's more of an informational tutorial event, and we've had great feedback and response over the past 2 years. We do that every year. The stories change, so we've taken that totally virtual. We were able to film the speaking
that's
segments and stuff. And we've gotten a really good response from the community. People that we have not seen or spoken to in quite some time are now coming and joining us and learning more about, updating their knowledge of Resource Center. We've done the same technique with our Young Professionals Advisory Council, who supports our Youth First program with their efforts. Our quarterly mixers with them have now gone virtual. And during the shelter at home phase of COVID-19, I think people really enjoy that they could stay at home, have a cocktail or whatever they want to drink and still be sociable with, 30 to 50 other people around the city. And they learn about Youth First and what we do there. The events, those have been challenging because those are, really, really heavy, intensive in-person events and such. Two of the big ones is our Gay Bingo and Toast to Life. And we also have a third one, Back to School, which is happening in August.
Okay.
Gay Bingo is our monthly event where we typically meet in the Rose Room at S4. And we have the drag queens and comedy and performances, and we play actual bingo. And we are licensed by the state of Texas to play charitable bingo, so we're allowed to award money for winning the game. So when we took Gay Bingo to a virtual format, we are not allowed by state laws and by our license to play any form of bingo. So we can't really have the game experience, but we've taken all the other fun aspects of Gay Bingo and put them into a 1-hour show that is streamed. And our hostesses have been phenomenal. We're now, one good thing about Gay Bingo is, since it is a monthly event, we held our first virtual Gay Bingo in May. We were blown away about the support from that. But with each month, the shows can get better and better because we learn from, what appeals to the clients, our guests. We're about to start our third one. Trevor works really well with me on it hard, to make these things entertaining. You've got to get creative. Some things you do, you think are great, it bombs, and you move on and you adapt and make them better. So we're introducing new aspects throughout. Toast to Life, that one takes a lot of creativity. Typically a Toast to Life is a 4-hour event, and we've got 13 restaurants offering food from their restaurants, and you've got all these alcohol and liquor vendors providing the alcohol, and we have our silent live auctions. So now we're going virtual. It's going to be a 1-hour event on Saturday night, July the 25th from 7 to 8. For that one, since it's just a big and more upscale event, we've partnered with a production company to help us out with that. We will be maintaining our silent auction. One thing we're doing new this year is, typically for Toast to Life, if you want to bid on our auction items, you go to the event and bid.
Right.
Now we are going to open the silent online auction to anyone, the public.
Yeah.
And in fact, we're going to open it 2 weeks early and carry it over 1 day after the event to try to bring in more, people to get them involved. We're not really going to have a live auction, but we're going to have an almost live auction, for some of our more prominent auction packages. We will be incorporating the band, the Roof Raisers, that we have hired to play at the event. So they are going to provide some form of entertainment, and as well as DJ Blake Ward is going to do some.
Blake's awesome.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Blake's awesome.
We love working with Blake. And he is filming as we speak right now some DJ sets for us. We'll have mission moments. We'll have Steve Kimball will continue to host our event. We're going to probably, now that we're doing a virtual format, we're going to be able to bring in a couple vignettes of what I like to call mission moments. Mm-hmm. What is it we do and why you support us type of thing. So it'll be a little informative. It'll be fun. Some of our restaurants are going to offer discount codes, promo codes to our guests for either the weekend or the day of Toast for discounts.
Great. Yeah.
And our beverage sponsors are pulling together a neat little gifty bag, so to speak, for our attendees, and with all kinds of things in them, fun things.
Right.
And then we're going to go from there. It's frightening. The event is a month away, and there's still so much unknown. So we have, we're just putting as many brains together as possible to pull out a phenomenal event. Yeah. And the same thing will happen for back to school on August 20th.
And I think that's great. It sounds like you guys have a lot of things covered. DIFA did our first virtual event back in May.
Yes, I watched it.
Yeah, and it was a learning experience for sure. Like we took our silent auction online, just like you guys are doing. It's going to be fantastic. I know it. We released it early. We actually surpassed the amount of money that we were planning to raise as part of our virtual event. So that was awesome. And I'm sure you guys will too. I want to come back to Toast of Life, but I want to talk a little bit more about Gay Bingo, because Gay Bingo is always such a fun and engaging thing. And I think the bingo part is a part of it. But like you said, it's all about the entertainment that's around it. So maybe share a little bit more around what can a patron expect to experience, especially as you guys are improving the online virtual Gay Bingo event. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. Well, so as you say, the Gay Bingo is a huge event. It went from a monthly 200 to 300 person event at S4 to now being completely virtual. We facilitate bingo now virtually through Zoom. We have had to get real creative. Zoom does have its limitations, but we make the most out of it. As Bill stated, we are not able to actually play bingo, which is very disappointing, but we make the most of it. And so we are so grateful to our volunteers, our lovely Gay Bingo hostesses who come every month and as drag queens. And so what people can expect now for Gay Bingo is I would call it more of like a virtual drag experience. You're going to see live drag performances from our entertainers. There is never a dull moment between the three of them. There's banter back and forth. We have, we're planning guest performances from other local well-known drag queens.
And maybe one out-of-state drag queen.
Very cool. Very
yes,
cool.
And we've incorporated a trivia element to it. So you may not be very familiar with Gay Bingo, but you'll definitely learn about it through our trivia. And we try to keep it on the theme of Gay Bingo. So questions like, what has been a theme of Gay Bingo? What has not been a theme of Gay Bingo? What RuPaul's Drag Race contestants have never performed at Gay Bingo? And then we also hold some type of contest every Gay Bingo so that we can still give away a prize. It's been challenging, but we're still learning. We've had our first virtual Gay Bingo was very successful. We exceeded our expectations, and we had over 100 people attend, which was more than we expected. The support from the community has been great. People are constantly asking us, how can they help? How can they volunteer? What can they do to help us and support us? We hope that eventually we can be back in the Rose Room. That's the goal. But either way, we've learned an additional way to raise money for Resource Center. I think it's important for people to remember that people obviously come to these events to support Resource Center, but they also come to have fun. Yeah. But ultimately, this is a fundraiser for us. And these funds that we're raising through these virtual events are critical to our programs and services. So I think it's important for people to remember that. Yes, come for a good time. But you're also, you're also there to help us.
It's a good time for a good cause.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So let's talk a little bit more about Toast to Life. It sounds amazing, the things you already have in place. One of the things that I'm always excited about is the silent auction and what are the types of things that you can get. So maybe can you tell us a little bit of kind of around maybe categories or types of things that people can be looking for, especially if it's open to everyone, right? There's a chance here to reach a whole new market. So
that's what we're hoping.
Yeah, right. What are the types of things that people can find in the silent auction for Toast to Life?
We have everything from one-of-a-kind pieces of handcrafted,
jewelry,
nice jewelry.
Yeah.
To everyday jewelry. We've got one of our sponsors donated a cruise. Very cool. With a lot of perks, and they're being very lenient on the booking date for that cruise, given our current environment.
Absolutely, yeah.
You will find home decor, artwork.
The art has always been fantastic.
Art is always,
Yeah.
thank you. Art is always successful.
Yeah.
Whether it be hand painted from a local Dallas artist or framed print art. It always sells well, and we've got some beautiful pieces this year. We've had a great response from some of our local, some of the communities like Bishop Arts, Deep Ellum, Greenville, where you will find gift cards and gift certificates to bars and restaurants. There's a package where you can go in Deep Ellum and spend a couple hours and make your own mozzarella cheese.
Very cool.
You get to take the cheese home plus a cookbook.
Those experiences are one of a kind, right?
Yes, and it's fun. I mean,
yeah,
it's something that you probably would not have known that you could do, and then you see it and know that you can bid on it, win it, and then it turns into a great memory.
Yeah.
Plus, you get to take home the cheese you make, so you get a benefit there. We have an interesting, and I think it's phenomenal because I wasn't even aware of this, but up in North Dallas, there is a historical pool called the Texas Pool. And it's a giant pool in the shape of the state of Texas. And they've given us some membership. South Fork Ranch, AT&T Stadium are participating. Some of our local sports teams have donated items. Like the Rangers donated some autographed baseballs. So we got memorabilia. So it's a very wide selection of offerings this year.
I mean, so for anything, at least come to see what's there, right?
Yeah,
For the silent auction, and there's a great opportunity. I think talk a little bit around where people can go to actually get tickets, whether it's for Toast to Life or to Gay Bingo.
I want to add one more thing, please. About the auction. This year, since we were going public with the auction, I think it's important to know that there is a broad price range of items offered. So there's something there for anyone's pocketbook. Yeah. And every dollar spent goes back to Resource Center and our programming. So,
and that's important for people to understand, because almost all of these items are donated, right? And so the money that people are putting towards the silent auction, all of that goes to the Resource Center. All of it goes to helping the community. All of it goes to the programs that the Resource Center is doing. And sometimes people don't realize that, and it's so important to know, not only because these people that are donating these items are doing such a great thing that's actually helping continue the mission of the center. Yeah,
and one other thing is, originally this event was supposed to be held in April, and we've now pushed it back to July. So that's given us a little more time to acquire some really cool auction items. Yeah. I'm really, really excited. I know that you guys mentioned we always have cool artwork, but this year the artwork is really, really cool. And as Bill mentioned, it's open to anybody. You don't have to attend Toast to Life to participate in the online auction. So we've got some really, really exciting stuff this year.
Awesome. And where can people go for tickets and more information?
Sure. So you can go to our website, www.myresourcecenter.org/toast to life. Tickets are now on sale. They're $50 a ticket. It's going to be an hour of a really awesome virtual show. And yeah. Awesome. And can they find out more information about Gay Bingo on the website, or where can Gay Bingo? I would direct people to our Facebook page. Okay. So just Facebook search Gay Bingo. It should be the first thing that pops up, but that's where we post most of our Gay Bingo updates. You'll see pictures from previous Gay Bingo virtual events, so that can give you an idea. We actually put together a cute little video montage of our most recent Gay Bingo, so that will give you an idea of kind of what to expect at Gay Bingo. But I would direct people to our Facebook page. Awesome. The Gay Bingo Dallas. Yeah. Okay. Yes. And Perfect. Also, if they're on our website, Gay Bingo does have a page on our website. It's myresourcecenter.org/gaybingo. And there is a link on that page, along with the upcoming themed events, a link to get you to buy tickets for that. And I want to make one thing known. When someone purchases a ticket to any of our events, the virtual events, let me be clear, the virtual events, that is one way we raise money for the event. And those ticket fees, like for Gay Bingo, is $15. That money is 100% goes back to us. And for the donor, it's considered a donation. Sure. So it's tax deductible for them. That's awesome. One of the things that we're seeing from a lot of the community is they still want to help in this time, and maybe
they can't go and buy a ticket, but they want to volunteer. Can you share a little bit around how volunteering might be changing? Can people still volunteer their time? And if so, what are the things that they can be doing?
Sure. So obviously our volunteer opportunities are pretty limited right now. We're not having in-person events. Most of our locations are closed or have limited their services and programs. So one of the cool ways someone can volunteer right now is we've created a social media ambassador program. So it's a way for someone who wants to help support Resource Center. Basically, they can sign up to be a social media brand ambassador, and we will give them some of our marketing materials and instructions on how to promote our events. And that's probably the easiest and best way to help volunteer with Resource Center right now. You can find that information on our Facebook page, my Resource Center, or email our marketing communications manager, Jennifer Collins.
Okay, perfect. It sounds like there's a lot of great things coming up for the Resource Center, which is awesome. Really highly suggest Gay Bingo. I know it's always been fun. Toast to Life is going to be a great event. Thank you guys so much for being here to share more about the Resource Center and about your events. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Yeah.
Of course. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Impact and learning a little bit more around events turning virtual and the Resource Center. We look to seeing you next time on our next episode.